Hello everyone, my name is Anni and my channel is support channel for all the caffeine quitters. And welcome to this today's presentation, which is about post-acute withdrawals and what happens in the brain and the body when people stop caffeine. It's not like many people think that you quit caffeine and it's gonna be 2 weeks and the withdrawals are over. That is not true for many people. Actually, many people, while they are using caffeine, their brain and body will adapt to that drug, that poison. And after they stop, after acute withdrawals, they actually start to go through this post-acute withdrawal syndrome, which means that your brain and body still keeps healing for long times. And for some people, this state can last months, and some people it can last even years. So let's dive deep what this caffeine addiction PAWS are. So what is PAWS after caffeine addiction? So many people doesn't even know what post-acute withdrawals are, and I was one of those people, because when I did quit caffeine cold turkey and I did end up that really wild roller coaster ride, I call it falling off the mountain falling off the mountain journey, I didn't know what was happening to me. It took me time when I started to do research, and then I find what post-acute withdrawal are. And I also have been helping now already many years people who go through these post-acute withdrawals after quitting caffeine. So this is actually a very common thing. But the sad thing is that many people after they quit caffeine, they don't know that this is a real thing, and then they end up using some kind of medications or supplements or something, and that can just worsen their symptoms. So PAWS affects people who have engaged addictive behaviors. And caffeine addiction can also cause these post-acute withdrawal symptoms. PAWS, post-acute withdrawal syndrome, begins after acute withdrawal are over, and this can last up till months or to years, depending on the person. Well, then we're gonna go like what happens in the brain and the body and why I feel all these symptoms during the PAWS. After stopping caffeine use, this brain electrical activity and neurotransmitter balance will change, and which can increase irritability and a strong craving for caffeine. This phenomenon can affect your mood and behavior, especially when the body does not receive its usual stimulation. So your body will adapt, and when that caffeine is taken off, it can be that you just feel really much all these symptoms, physiological symptoms, neurological symptoms, mental symptoms, cognitive symptoms, all kind of symptoms, while your body starts to adapt to back to homeostasis. And also many people in this journey, when they quit caffeine, for example cold turkey, and then they end up this really high anxiety journey, falling off the mountain journey, where your stress system is also starting to find that new balance, but it's like almost feeling that people cannot tolerate any kind of stimulation or stress. That also happened to me. Your HPA axis and your nervous system is also rewiring back to normal, and that can take time. So all these symptoms are sign that the body is trying to go back to that homeostasis. But the hard thing in this is when people end up this journey is that they cannot usually stand any kind of stress. And that's why this information is so important to share, that people will know that they are not crazy, and it's not good to take anything while you are going through this healing, because if you start to take anything, meaning medications or supplements or anything, that can affect your brain chemistry. It can just worsen the symptoms, make them like 100 times more difficult, or it can like prolong the journey. So my recommendation are always natural, and we're gonna go my recommendation later in this presentation. But remember, I am not giving any medical advices. I'm just giving peer support, which is my channel's like most important thing to do. So always remember, you are not crazy, you are healing, and windows and waves are part of this journey, like meaning that you have times when you feel a little bit better, and then you have a lot of those times that you don't feel yourself. And your feeling how you feel, it can change during the day. So you can have those windows, little windows during the days, and then you can have a lot of these waves where you just feel non-functional and you have more symptoms, and those waves can last like weeks or months. In my journey, it was more like those windows were like during the days. Like I never had a window which was like really long, days or months. My recovery was a lot of like ups and downs. But then eventually you will heal, whatever is your timeline. So give it a lot of time and you will get there. So tolerance. I want to talk about a little bit tolerance, because that is something that happened when you use substances. So also when you use caffeine. So this is just a little example that I have learned from one really good woman, Dr. Donnelly Snipes. And I have used her material to make this presentation also, and I will link her videos below this presentation so you can learn more about what post-acute withdrawals are. So when the dopamine is on the normal auto shipment, so this is like the explanation, our system makes like a steady supply of happiness, like energy levels are good, mood, memory, concentration, it all works. Everything works. We don't have to think about those things. It just normally happens. We are able to live our life. Many of us, we didn't even know what neurotransmitters are or what is the nervous system like before this. We didn't have to think about it because everything just comes naturally. That's how the body functions normally. And it adapts in the drug. So when the caffeine steps in the house, so when you are in the caffeine addiction, this auto shipment will triple. So it will go like, oh, now body have to do something to adapt to this high level of drug. So system tries to keep it up. Something have to be done so your body don't get overstimulated, like it doesn't go too high. So adaptation happens then. Adaptation happens because it protects your brain and the body. Always remember that it's something that body and brain can do, protecting you. So then the new workers have to come in, and then system have to create its new normal. That is adaptation. It's like caffeine is affecting every single cell in your body and all the chemistry inside the cells. So all your systems, which are really many systems in the body, and all your organs have to adapt also. And of course, all those hormones and neurotransmitters. There are so many neurotransmitters and hormones in our body. Those are like sending those messages that everything works well. So they have to adapt. So system will create its new normal. And then when you stop using caffeine, that auto shipment, which was adaptation, it has to go back to normal. And there is like all these changes happening. There is nothing to do those new workers. So body have to adapt back to normal. And this is that rewiring process that can take time. Neuroplasticity. It just takes time, but be patient because you will get there. And then you will feel like a new person. So a little bit about those neurotransmitters. In this presentation, I only speak in this about the dopamine and adenosine most because they are the main ones that caffeine kind of affects, but it affects all the neurotransmitters because you cannot all affect one without another. So just remember, this is just a really not large picture. But I will link below this presentation videos from the Dr. Donally's Knives, where you can learn more about these neurotransmitters and what happens in the brain and the body during the pause. So, chronic caffeine use, the brain begins to rely on the drug to sustain the artificially high levels of neurotransmitters like dopamine in its reward circuits. So over time, the brain adapts to this overstimulation. That's what it is. The caffeine is, it's overstimulating your system. So it adapts like by down-regulating these dopamine receptors. It have to do that, meaning it kind of reduces their number and sensitivity, like number of those receptors and sensitivity. At the same time, it also upregulates adenosine receptors, increasing their number to counteract caffeine's blocking effects, because caffeine is blocking those adenosine receptors. And that's why it's like stopping the effects of adenosine or blocking that. As a result, when caffeine intake stops, so when you stop taking caffeine, that dopamine signaling drops and adenosine activity surges, and that leads to fatigue, low mood, anxiety, and for some people, intense cravings. It depends on the person how intense those cravings can be, but you can have so much cravings for like even any kind of like dopamine, like the fast food or the drug, caffeine, because your body is just feeling so low, and you can have so much difficulties to concentrate and brain fog and all that. But that is all part of the healing and brain rewiring, brain and body rewiring. But the brain and the body have an incredible capacity to heal. So over time, dopamine receptor function can normalize and will, and adenosine sensitivity can rebalance. So with patience and consistency, your natural energy, motivation, and mood can fully return. And I promise you, it will return. So you got this, like I always said. So then we're gonna go in the symptoms. This is very important part of this presentation because this is what I help people with, and this is what people are always asking about, because of course you want to have that reassurance that you will get back to normal and these symptoms are normal and you are not crazy. So you can have a lot of emotional outburst or lack of emotions, anhedonia, feeling blah, just feeling emotionless. Sorry about my English, my own language is Finnish, so I'm struggling a little bit. But anxiety and irritability are very common in this. Some people have that really high anxiety, panic attacks, terror, fear, and they cannot leave the house for some amount of time before they start to feel a bit better and be more functional. That is completely normal also if you have been, for example, quitting cold turkey and falling off the mountain, meaning that your nervous system kind of did get hit, and your nervous system in this journey is like very, very sensitized. So it takes time before the nervous system also start to tolerate stress again. So fatigue, all kind of pains, neck pains, you name it, all kind of pains. I had so much neck pain, back pain, muscle pain, tension pain, all kind of pains are very normal, this quitting caffeine post-acute withdrawal journey. Insomnia, strange dreams and change in sleep patterns, very normal. You can have that on and off. A lot of all kind of vivid dreams, it's definitely part of the healing. Insomnia for many people, it's really, really heavy in the beginning, meaning that you will just wake up all the time. After even 1 hour, you wake up, then sleep a little, wake up. Some people can have periods in the beginning that they cannot even really sleep much. I have that too, and I know it can be scary, but just know that that will ease out. And your sleep also will come back to normal, but that can just, some people, it takes months or years before your sleep go fully back to normal. So weird feelings in the brain zaps. This is scary for many people, like it was for me. So brain zaps are just really normal part of this healing journey. Anxiety does that. And the rewiring also, what is happening in the brain. Sometimes I felt like, oh, my brain is doing something. And this is very common that I hear people say that, Anni, my brain is doing something. Yeah, but your brain is doing something. That's true, because your brain is rewiring itself back to normal and body. So we can actually, in this journey, when those neurotransmitters are there just floating all over the body, because the receptors are not function like before they repair itself back to normal, it can feel that you feel so much things that you are not supposed to feel normally, like almost like that neurochemical shitstorm is going on, like all those neurochemicals are there just floating around and they don't know where to go. The signals doesn't go through. So that's why you feel for a while these weird symptoms before your brain and body like build up that new homeostasis, that new they go back to normal, so-called. So you can have a lot of troubles to think clearly. This is really common in this journey. Sometimes you can have those good windows when your brain works. I did always call it like the brain stuck. My brain felt stuck when I couldn't think clearly, or it was really hard when if you have to do something like pretty much anything that you need to use your brain. This journey can be really hard if you have to work like being connected with other humans, like interact, social interactions can be really hard, and that's completely normal. But I promise you guys, it comes back. But just know if you have troubles to interact with your loved ones and family, and you feel that you are like totally like non-functional, it's really common in this. That will ease out. So also, so maybe don't make any hard decision, especially in the beginning of the process, because then it's not too good to stress the system. So feeling stupid also like is very normal, and people always ask me, Anni, I feel so stupid. I feel that I cannot even like figure out simple things, like solve problems. I had that too. Like I actually thought that my brain is injured, because this healing journey can feel pretty much the same than kind of the brain injury, in that sense that you feel confused because your brain doesn't work. And that's why it's very important to share this information, that you are not permanently damaged or injured or anything. This is just the rewiring process that unfortunately it takes time, but you will get there. So dizziness is very common, and problems with balance. You can feel like just very dizzy, disconnected, especially with any extra stimulation can cause you more than dizziness and problems with balance, like anything, like even exercising a little bit too much, or even wind blowing through your face, sounds, noises, anything what is stimulation, people usually they cannot handle it, especially those of us who had that really high anxiety journey. So just remember, with time it is, and it's good to not to take anything that will like stress your body or stimulate your system, not supplements, not meds, not anything, not over exercise, anything that cause that extra stimulation, because then your symptoms probably will ramp up, and that's something that we don't want to. But anyway, with time you will heal, so don't worry. So eye symptoms are really common, like blurry vision, like just really bad vision. Stomach issues, really common in this. Caffeine also is very, very, very much dehydrating the system and affecting your stomach. You have to read the book Caffeine Blues, definitely. I will link that below this presentation. So there is all these kind of diseases what caffeine is causing and how it actually affects your brain and body and every systems in our body. And that there you can find the mechanism also how caffeine affects the body, and also those byproducts of caffeine, paraxanthin and dimethylic uric acid, they also restore in the body. So that is also interesting information. But anyway, so we're gonna now stay in the symptoms. So eye symptoms, very normal: stomach issues, diarrhea, constipation, acid reflux. Those are very, very common in this. Poor memory, it's very common. Sensitivity to the stress and can tolerate any stress. Intrusive thoughts, very, very common. Many people have like tons of those intrusive thoughts and fear in this journey. Just know that is normal and that will too pass. Lack of motivation and joy, that's also due to dopamine, and just be patient. It takes time to that natural motivation and joy to come back. Also, all kind of detox symptoms can happen while your body is detoxing those caffeine poisons and those byproducts. So flu-like symptoms, skin rashes, all these kind of symptoms are these detox symptoms, like flu-like symptoms, skin rashes, acne symptoms can even happen in the beginning. But usually then people say that their skin starts to look better. And brain fog. And there can be also many other symptoms in this journey which are not even this list. These are just like most common one, but just remember, even under the anxiety there can be all kind of feelings, tons of all kind of feelings. So don't worry if some symptom is not in the list what you have. And please check all my channel's videos if you are interested about this topic and if you are going through this. I have made many videos with my friend Mandy, and those videos and live videos, most of those videos are live that I have made with Mandy. So I don't know if they're gonna show up if you try to find videos like typing quitting caffeine. So you can find those our lives in my channel's live section. And then I also have made like playlists like Caffeine Withdrawal and PAWS, so you can find those there. So we have shared a lot of information about our recovery journey and about these post-acute withdrawal symptoms. And there is also other people comments and stories below those videos. So please check those out if you are searching this kind of information. And just know that nothing bad is not gonna happen to you and you are safe. Before we start to end this presentation, I want to speak a little bit more about these neurotransmitters and receptors so that you can have understanding that what kind of is happening. Even we already did speak about it, but it's a good this is a good one. So in addition, receptor downregulation happens quickly. Because many people, when they end up in this journey, they are like, Anni, but I haven't been so long time in caffeine. Even they probably have been, some of them using pretty high amount. Some people not have been using even high amount. So you have to remember this adaptation can happen even 1 cup of coffee a day for a certain amount of time. And it depends on the person. So we cannot never say that what is the safe amount of caffeine, like the mainstream media is giving the false information. There is no safe amount of caffeine. Caffeine is a drug and the poison, and poison is poison. But so anyway, so what comes to neurotransmitters and receptors, so that receptors downregulation happens quickly as the brain adapts to the constant presence of a substance. Think about like the fire, like when comes a big fire, it can make like really bad damage in really short time, kind of. Maybe a little bit bad example, but like the brain have to adapt quickly if if you do something that could possibly hurt you, but brain cannot allow that. So if needed, if you are drinking that poison even for 1 year, and your brain needs to adapt to that to protect you, it will do that quickly. So with caffeine, the brain increases adenosine receptors, like we learned, to compensate for its stimulating effects. That is how it protects your brain and the body. However, the recovery takes much longer. So this is the important info, because that upregulation and downregulation and neurogenesis and synaptic remodeling. So neurogenesis and synaptic remodeling, those are the slower biological processes. So while when that downregulation can occur within days or weeks, that restoring balance in the neurotransmitter system may take months or even years, contributing to prolonged withdrawal symptoms, which are PAWS, post-acute withdrawal symptoms. So just know that it's just all you need to know, it's time. You need to know that this just takes time. So those neurotransmitters, maybe this explanation is a little bit better, so you can understand. Those neurotransmitters are like an orchestra. So each one of these players has their own role to perform. Every single neurotransmitters have their own role in the system. And there is a little bit mistake with the writing. So when you use a substance, like this example caffeine, it disturbs the role of this one musician, and since the orchestra work together, they all work together, the entire performance gets out of the sync. So the brain and the body tries to adapt, but when you stop using caffeine, this chaos ensues because opposing mechanisms become too strong. So this chaos, some of you are now in that chaos, but you won't be forever. Remember, you won't. This chaos is what we experience as a withdrawal symptoms and PAWS. So this chaos is healing. So there we're gonna go in the end of this presentation, that I promised that there comes the Anni's recommendation. And remember, I'm not any medical advisor. I'm just a peer support person, and I have been helping people already some years, and I know that people will get through these post-acute withdrawals with time. And I also have been learning some things on the way, of course, because you kind of start to gain information while you are working with people. So my recommendation is don't take any mind-altering substances, don't take any supplements, any medication, any injections, anything. Like I have speak a lot about the dangers of those jabs in my channel, but unfortunately those videos usually get removed. But that is like also the information that I want to share. So don't take anything that can harm the body during the recovery, or anyway, because I don't even ever want to take supplements in my life. Even I haven't taken those for years now. And I just now think that we don't need any of those, because water and food is something that your body needs, and rest, but that's about it. Like, that's how amazing our body is and how God made us. Avoiding extra stress, important if you just can. I know that some of you have kids and family and work that you still have to do somehow. Some people cannot work, like I was one of those people who went like totally unfunctional. That also is normal if that happened, like you get out of from that state. But just avoiding like any extra stress and stimulation, especially in the beginning, because and all the journey if you can, because you don't want to like overstress your body while it's healing, and because you cannot tolerate any stimulation anyway, many of you are. So just try to take it easy as much as you can. I know it's always not possible, especially for this stubborn mindset that I had, that sometimes I just wanted to go and work out even I wasn't ready to work. My body wasn't ready to work out. And then it caused me just like those symptoms did ramp up. So also healthy diet that fits for you. That is something that people try, all kind of diets. I did that too. I did try carnivore, keto, just like very alkaline diet, all kind of diets, but diet didn't do pretty much anything to me, except of course it's so important to eat healthy that your body can get those nutrients while you are healing, but that's not about what this is about. This journey, this is the most important thing also to say, this journey is not about diet. This is about that neuroplasticity and going back to homeostasis that diet cannot fix. There is not any quick fixes for this. It's just how it is. Like, that's why people always come to message me, Anni, I have tried this and I have go hundreds of doctors and they cannot find anything, and I have tried this and this diet and it doesn't work. And I said, yeah, it's time that works. But anyway, I'm sure that you will have plenty of time to try different diets, so whatever works for you with that. But then when you heal, your stomach symptoms will go, and like for me, where I'm now over 5 years, I feel that I don't have any allergies what comes to food. Even I don't eat gluten, but I can eat dairy. I before have dairy allergy, now I don't have that anymore. So just know you are able to enjoy life and the food again when you heal. So you have to remember you are not alone. I have my Discord peer support group, and I will put that link below this video too. You are all welcome to there. I will also give live support sessions there almost every day. So just welcome there if you need any kind of live support. This is temporary state and this will pass with time. It will. So also important thing, gradually tapering off is safer way than quitting cold turkey, definitely. So don't cold turkey. I know some people will cold turkey because, and they may not fall off the mountain, but just know it can happen and it can be just too big shock for the system and nervous system. So tapering off is safer way. So however, if you did quit cold turkey, if you did already do that, like many of us, we didn't know, we just cold turkey, we just kind of, this just did happen. So for an accident or some other reason, like you did started to maybe have panic attacks while you were on caffeine, and then you just quit it cold turkey, and the damage already happened. Even I don't like the word damage, but the nervous system already did get that hit. So you started to experience those intense symptoms of anxiety and all those panic attacks and fear. So don't worry, because these all will subside with time and your nervous system will find its balance. It's almost like programming your system in the new condition. Like, think about the old Windows. You have old Windows and now it's updating with that newer version, better version. You will be a better version of yourself for sure. And no more caffeineism, no more effects of that drug and poison. It's really, really, really bad for the body and the brain and all systems in the body. So remember that recovery, it's not linear. So these ups and downs, roller coaster ride, windows and waves, that's how the body heals. Body has its own way to heal in the windows and waves. Usually if body would heal like all at once, that would be too intense for the system. So windows and waves are really normal. The mind and the body each have their own timelines to processing different states. So sometimes your brain are repairing some part, our body some part, and sometimes some other. So that's what makes the process kind of non-linear and something that can feel that it doesn't make sense. Like sometimes I felt I had a so good window and I was so much functional and mentally better, and then some wave I was just physically more like unfunctional. But that's how our brain and body like works. It's not linear. it's almost like I like to call it like making a puzzle, like, puzzle. And body and the brain have to do it works that all the puzzles will get there. So it's like that how it feels like sometimes you get a piece of puzzle to yourself back when you in this journey you feel a lot of disconnected, meaning that you have that depersonalization, derealization, not feeling yourself, not feeling your own identity, who you are, not interested about things that you used to were. So just know that it's normal when your body is just building up that puzzle, and sometimes you feel, oh, I did get this puzzle back, like you feel more creative, or you may feel more like like you get those pieces of your personality back, like, oh, you get your memories back, you get your, maybe you were a fun person, you start to feel more like that, you are able to laugh with people, you start to feel more connected with people, you want to go more out, maybe you want to take care of your body and like look. All these can be like something that you miss in the recovery because of the rewiring. So it can almost, I always say that it felt for me like a bubble. I was inside the bubble, stuck in my own brain and the body. That was really scary place to be before you started to get out from that, meaning the more windows starts to come, because like in the recovery, your mind is playing trick for you with anxiety does that it's doubting that, oh my God, maybe I have this, and then you start to Google all kind of diseases and all kind of scenarios comes to your head. But this when you hop in my Discord support group and ask for reassurance, because guys, it's just healing. It is healing. I will say to you, because your mind plays so much tricks when you have anxiety. And it tells you all the other things, and then people are always, Anni, but maybe I have this and maybe I have that. But trust me, this is withdrawal. And if you were normal before, like meaning you were living your life before this happened, and you didn't have any of that, like many of us, this just happened. So this is the reassurance you get back to normal, and you got this, guys. So thank you so much for this presentation, and please comment how did you like this, and always share your journey also in the comments if you want. You got this, guys, and see you. Bye bye.